So the question is, why did we bring him here for you guys? I don't think we talk about this near enough. We don't talk about the struggle that you guys face every day. We see you guys struggling with choices every day. Nampa, welcome.
I'd really love it if everybody just kind of tuned in, listened, paid attention, because I think what will happen throughout this hour is I'll be able to connect with almost everybody in the room. Whether it be yourself, your family member, or somebody that you know that's out there struggling to make the right decision at the right time. You don't get to go back and get that 15 years back. So I understand the struggle. I understand what it's like to abandon my kids. I understand what it's like to rob my kids of time, the one thing that they really need from me. Because drugs became such a priority in my life. And it didn't start out like that. It just snowballed over time. Drugs has a much bigger plan for your life. Its job is to kill you. Its job is to take everything from you. Its job is to separate you from your goals and your aspirations you have in your life. That's its job. How many of you have seen the effects that drugs and alcohol have had in somebody else's life? That's a lot of hands, and I know there's some other hands that didn't quite get up there. It takes a lot of courage to, one, admit that. It takes a lot of courage for me to come out here and share my story. It takes a lot of courage for you to join my team of champions and decide that you want to make better choices, or you want to make different choices than those people that you raised your hand for. It's hard when the pressure's on. You're looking at your buddies and they're drinking and you don't want to. It's hard to step away from that situation and have the courage that it takes. I understand that. I understand that. The struggle is real. You think you got it figured out, you're out there vaping on those little vaporizers, maybe smoking a little joint, maybe having a little drink with your buddies on the weekend. Maybe you think it's not a big deal, you think that's what we do, that's what they've been doing for generations. Maybe. Maybe you don't understand what's really happening in the midst of it. I've seen the worst of it. I understand the very worst of it. And I'm one of many, many, many stories that don't get to come back and talk about it. I'm one of many, many stories that are in prison for life, that have limited their opportunities because of the choices they made and have been in trouble. Every time you get in trouble, you start limiting your opportunities later in life. And what happens is it becomes a long uphill battle later. And it's a hard, hard road later. If we don't take advantage of this opportunity right now and carve our path and figure out our identity and figure out what direction you want to go in. I'm sure most of you want to graduate high school. I'm sure most of you want to go to college. I'm sure most of you want to just find some level of success. But depending on the choices that you make between now and the next few years are going to determine whether or not you reach that higher goal. My story was on ESPN 2009. It won a National Sports Emmy. It was voted the most inspirational comeback story of the year. And I want to share that story with you guys today.